Your dog does some truly bizarre stuff, and there's always a real reason behind it. Like, why do they suddenly zoom around the room like they've been launched from a cannon? You probably think they just lost the plot, but it's not random at all. And why do they ditch their nice shampoo smell to roll in something disgusting outside? You assume they have zero taste, but the real reason will blow your mind. And in this video, I'll reveal what these behaviors are actually about. Now, let's start with why your dog eats grass. According to a 2008 study published in Applied Animal Behavior Science, researchers surveyed over 1,400 dog owners and found that 79% of dogs had eaten plants at some point, and grass was the most common one. Your dog isn't sick, and they're not trying to become a cow either. Most dogs who eat grass show zero signs of illness before doing it. Grass actually contains fiber, and fiber helps move things along in your dog's digestive system. So, if your dog's stomach feels off, eating grass is basically their version of taking a digestive supplement. Wild dogs and wolves also eat plant material, so this behavior goes way back. Your dog is just following old instincts that their ancestors passed down. Another thing dogs do that confuses a lot of owners is licking their paws. Your dog isn't just grooming themselves like a cat. There's usually something specific triggering it. If your dog licks one paw over and over, that paw might be injured or irritated. If they're licking all four paws, it's more likely allergies. And yes, dogs get seasonal allergies just like you do. Grass, pollen, and certain foods are common triggers. You might also notice the fur around their paws turning a reddish-brown color, which is a sign of chronic licking caused by irritation. Boredom and anxiety can also cause this behavior, especially if your dog doesn't get enough mental stimulation during the day. Think of it as stress eating, but for dogs, it's stress licking. If the licking seems obsessive, that's your cue to check in with your vet. Then there's that adorable head tilt your dog does every time you say something interesting. It looks cute, but it's actually your dog working really hard to understand you. Dogs tilt their heads to adjust the position of their outer ears, which helps them figure out where a sound is coming from. It also helps them hear the tone of your voice more clearly, because tone tells them a lot about what you mean. Some researchers also think dogs tilt their heads to get a better visual on your face, since their muzzle can block part of their view. A dog who tilts their head often is actually a dog who's paying close attention to you. Dogs with flatter faces tend to tilt more because their facial structure makes hearing harder. So when your dog does that little tilt, they're not just being adorable on purpose, they're genuinely trying to figure out what you're saying. Now, let's talk about why your dog ditches their fresh bath smell to roll in something absolutely disgusting. Scientists found that this behavior, called scent rolling, is deeply rooted in predator instinct. Wolves in the wild do the exact same thing, rolling in strong smells to mask their own scent before a hunt. Your dog isn't doing it to gross you out. They're doing it because some ancient part of their brain says, this is a great idea. The stinkier the source, the better it works as a disguise. Dead animals, fox poop, and rotting food are basically the holy grail of scents for your dog. Your dog also might be trying to bring that interesting scent back to the pack, which in this case is you. So yes, your dog is essentially trying to share a gift with you. Disgusting, absolutely. Logical from a dog's perspective, 100%. Another behavior that looks both funny and a little concerning is when your dog chases their own tail. Puppies do it most often because they're still figuring out that the tail is actually attached to them. It's basically a puppy discovering a new toy that goes everywhere they go. Adult dogs sometimes do it out of boredom, especially if they haven't had enough exercise or mental stimulation that day. But if your adult dog chases their tail a lot and seems unable to stop, that could point to a compulsive behavior worth checking out. Some breeds like bull terriers are more genetically prone to tail chasing than others. Occasionally, it can also signal a medical issue like an irritation or injury near the tail. If it happens once in a while, it's harmless fun. If it's happening constantly, your dog might be telling you something needs attention. And then there's the whining, which is honestly one of the most effective things your dog does to get what they want. Whining is your dog's way of communicating something urgent, and they've learned it works really well on humans. A dog might whine because they're excited, anxious, in pain, or just really want that piece of chicken you're holding. The pitch and pattern of the whine actually carry different meanings. A high-pitched, repetitive whine usually signals excitement or anticipation. A more drawn-out, Low whine often signals stress or discomfort. Your dog figured out early in life that making noise gets a human's attention fast. If you always respond to whining with treats or cuddles, congratulations! You've trained your dog to whine more. Paying attention to when and how your dog whines helps you actually understand what they need instead of just guessing. Here's one most people don't even think about. Dogs get hiccups too. Your dog gets hiccups for the same basic reason you do. Their diaphragm spasms. Puppies get hiccups way more often than adult dogs because they eat and drink fast, swallowing a lot of air in the process. That extra air irritates the diaphragm and boom, hiccup city. High excitement can also trigger them because rapid breathing changes the rhythm of the diaphragm. Most hiccup sessions in dogs last just a few minutes and go away on their own. You don't need to scare your dog or hold their nose. None of the human hiccup cures are relevant here. Calm your dog down and let them breathe slowly. That usually does the trick. Now let's talk about one of the most relatable things your dog does: losing their mind over peanut butter. Your dog isn't just being dramatic. Peanut butter genuinely hits different for them on a sensory level. Dogs have a strong preference for high-fat, high-protein foods, and peanut butter delivers both in one sticky spoonful. The smell alone is incredibly rich to a dog's nose, which has up to 300 million scent receptors compared to your 6 million. The thick texture also keeps them working at it longer, which stimulates their brain and keeps them focused. That's exactly why vets and groomers use it as a distraction tool. Licking also releases calming chemicals in your dog's brain, so peanut butter basically becomes a stress reliever. Just make sure your peanut butter doesn't contain xylitol, because that sweetener is toxic to dogs. Plain, unsweetened peanut butter is the one you want. Another thing dogs do that can genuinely freak owners out is barking at absolutely nothing. You look around, you see nothing, you hear nothing, but your dog is fully convinced something is there. Here's the thing, your dog's senses are so far beyond yours that nothing to you is rarely nothing to them. Dogs can hear frequencies up to 65,000 hertz, while humans max out at about 20,000 hertz. They can also detect smells at concentrations nearly 100,000 times lower than what you can pick up. So your dog might be hearing a mouse behind the wall, an animal outside, or a sound from 3 houses down. Sometimes it's also a response to changes in air pressure, which dogs seem to be sensitive to before storms. Anxiety can also make dogs more alert and reactive, causing them to bark at subtle things you'd never notice. And finally, let's talk about the ZOOMIES. The official name for this is Frenetic Random Activity Periods, or FRAPs. And yes, ZOOMIES are strongly linked to positive emotional states in dogs, meaning your dog isn't losing their mind, they're just really happy. Dogs most often get the ZOOMIES after a bath, after waking up, or after being cooped up for a while. It's basically a full body release of built-up energy and excitement. Your dog's brain signals a burst of physical activity as a way to reset, similar to how you might shake out your hands when you're restless. Puppies and younger dogs get them more often, but even senior dogs have their moments. The best thing you can do is give them space and maybe move the breakable stuff out of the way. It ends on its own, and after it's over, your dog will probably just flop down and sleep like nothing happened. Now you know your dog isn't weird, they're just wired differently. But here's the scary part. Even the most loving owners are unknowingly doing things every single day that hurt their dog emotionally. So go ahead and check out our next video, where we break down 12 habits that emotionally damage your dog. Your dog can't tell you what's wrong, and the longer you wait, the more it affects them.